On November 1st, my wife and I moved into this apartment with the help of a veterans organization. Now it feels like we're about to lose it. Do I really think we'll lose it? No. I honestly, I believe something's going to happen in our favor that's going to, it's going to work out. I don't know how, but by the grace of God, it will. Going back, my wife and I lived in another apartment complex that we had been trying to get out of, and it didn't materialize. A new company came in, overtook the management of the complex. We ended up signing a new lease with them. Then, when that lease was up, they didn't offer us a new one. And what we had found out is that any resident that had issues with being late, they were basically trying to push them out. So that's what happened to us. We took the opportunity to move in with my mom and dad, and the plan was to take the money that we weren't paying in rent and put it aside for a new place. Well, what had happened is that my car ended up breaking down. So we were left with her car. And then things started to get kind of unstable with us living there because, my dad now is 88. My mom is in her 70s. So it kind of got too much for them, too much for us. We ended up moving in with my father-in-law. We lived with him for a while, and then things happened, and we ended up moving back in with my mom and dad. Then, not long after that, my wife's car went down permanently. And by the way, if you hear something in the background, it's probably the washing machine. I don't know if this will pick it up or not. Just, that's what that noise would be. So we ended up basically, my wife and I and my mom and dad were sharing their car. Then it got to the point where things were getting unstable with us living there again, so we moved back in with her dad. I went back to Amazon. I had worked there once before. I went back, and my wife and her dad, with his car, would basically kind of take turns driving me to work. I started back there in September of 2023. Was able to save up enough money from all the overtime that I was working because it was a holiday season, and we were able to put down payment on a car. Then that car had its problems, and I'm probably making this a longer story than it needs to be, because I don't want to make this like another 15-20 minute video. I just kind of want to get this story out there. But we ended up with two cars, and she was doing some DoorDash, and through, I think it was on the Dasher Direct app before they went to the Crimson, she found some resources, and one of them was for housing assistance. And going through that, she was able to get connected to the VA on my behalf. I went and contacted the person I was supposed to contact, set up a meeting. She got me into this organization called SSVF, Supportive Services for Veteran Families. Now, my mission here is not to basically crap on the program. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I will say that what has happened with the SSVF that I'm in is basically left us hanging, and we're basically in limbo. So, like I said, we got moved in here November 1st. The first month's rent was late, like very late. The second month rent in December was paid on time. January's rent was late. February's rent this month still hasn't been paid yet. So I've been trying to get in contact with my case manager, tried to get in contact with the director, her supervisor. The last time I had heard from my case manager was January 28th. And a rent check was supposed to be cut and delivered or submitted or whatever happens with it by the next week, which would have been the first week of February. The rent should have been paid. It didn't get paid. So I was trying to contact my case manager, her supervisor, couldn't get a hold of either one of them. My case manager, when I called her phone, it was a busy tone. Then it went to going from a busy tone straight to voicemail, and I was leaving voicemails, texting her to no avail. So I don't know how SSVF in other parts of the country works, but where I'm at, it's out of basically it's a community action agency called Wayne Metro. I live in Wayne County, Michigan. So I went up to the building where they were located, only to find a note on the door saying, "We moved." And it gave the address and location for 2 other locations. So a couple days later, I took a day off and I went to one of these locations, and one of the people said the case managers don't actually work out of here. Sorry, I had a hiccup coming up, or a burp, but I didn't want to do that. Anyway, so the person I talked to said, "I will put a note on your file letting them know that you were trying to contact them." And then she gave me a business card with like the service center number. So I get home, I call the service center number, and the menu that they gave, it didn't have an option for what I was looking for. So what I ended up doing was going on their website and doing a chat with an agent. He found my case manager's email, said, "Hey, I'm gonna get basically clearance to send her an email." I said, "Okay, that's fine," but I already tried emailing her and it kicked back saying that email is no longer active. So he emailed her anyway. I waited for a response, didn't get one. And then however many days later, it wasn't that many days, I called the service number again, and I just picked one of the options, which was something in Detroit. I talked to somebody, and I don't know if it was her that told me or the next person, but come to find out, my case manager and her supervisor no longer work there. So imagine how I feel. Imagine how my wife feels. It's like we've been abandoned. The second person I talked to said they were going to contact this person and were going to get in contact with me. I've still not heard anything from them yet, and that was several days ago. So I'm gonna try tomorrow, even though they're probably not going to be open because of today is President's Day, so it's probably going to be observed tomorrow. But I will be calling this week. I actually have this week off, so that works out. But I'm calling up there, and I'm going to find out what in the world is going on, because this ain't right. A little caveat, I don't know if caveat's the right word. I understand that case managers are swamped, and one of the people that I talked to did say something about being short-staffed. But I have to do what I have to do. The other thing of me making this video, we're being assisted by a veterans organization. I'm the veteran. I was 4 years in the Marine Corps, 2001 to 2005. I have had apprehensions on using my veteran status to get assistance or help. I don't like asking for help. It's uncomfortable for me. But when my wife got a hold of the VA rep for me that basically it opened the door. And you know, that was my wife working on my behalf for me and for us. You know, we try to do our best work as a team. But like I said, I don't like asking for help, and I'm not gonna sit here and beg. At the same time, I do want to put it out there. We all know why I'm here. We all know why I started this channel, or actually started uploading videos. We know why a lot of us are here on YouTube. We're trying to get monetized. I'm not gonna ask you to pity subscribe to my channel, but if you're interested to see where my journey goes, to see where mine and my wife's journey goes, if you want to follow our story, you know, consider hitting it. In the long run, it'll help us out. But I'm going to be finding out some information this week. And when good news strikes, I will come back and make a video about it. But that's kind of all I wanted to say. Like I said, I don't want to sit here and beg. I'm not gonna... I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say. But whatever happens, happens. Anything good, I'll be grateful for. But that's about it. I'm not going to drag this out any longer. That's one of the things that we're going through right now. Anyway, that's my video for today. I don't know, maybe I'll do another one later on. I guess there's things I want to talk about. I mean, but sure. How do I end this? That's my story and I'm sticking to it? No, I don't want to stick to that story. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you watching it. And I'll see you in the next one.